Didn't you hear? The sky is falling. At least that's what Brandon Graham hears. That's what Nick Sirianni hears. Welcome to the Eagles Checkdown, the fastest under 10-minute Eagles podcast there is, jointly produced and handled by the Eagles Pin Pull Podcast Network and the YouTube channel, the STT Sports Network. Guys, wherever you're watching this, whatever platform, audio or video, like, share, subscribe, follow, do whatever it is you do to make sure you're not missing a thing. And also make sure you subscribe to the STT Sports Network so that you tune in every morning, trending in the AM, 90 minutes of live sports talk, taking your thoughts and opinions on everything I talk about here and so much more. So make sure you guys check it out. I'd greatly appreciate it. 99 subscribers from 1,000. That's the goal. But also, obviously, the Pinpull Podcast Network, phenomenal group of individuals pumping out great content on a daily basis. First, let's start today with a quick little hitter on Hard Knocks in-season edition. Yes, that debuted on Tuesday night on HBO, the first time they're doing an in-season. It's the NFC East, so the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Washington Commanders, and those New York Football Giants all were featured, basically from about the time of the Eagles-Cowboys game right through this past weekend against the Bears and, you know, whoever the other teams played, the Commanders, Broncos, and the Giants, Broncos. I don't know. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, three things I want to point out. One, non-Eagles related. HBO lucked out. HBO wanted to make this a love fest with Dallas, and the fact that Dallas started 2-0 right at the prime point of the starting of this show, it was a Dallas Cowboys love fest for about an hour last night. I bet you Dallas was on the screen for at least 30 of that hour, at least half of that hour, without a doubt. But anyway, there are two interesting things Eagles related. Obviously, the Eagles seem down. The Eagles have lost their first two games in this Hard Knocks season, and obviously are 8-4 now, and the sky is falling. And early in this show, there was a video of Nick Sirianni and Brandon Graham on the sideline at a practice, talking about adversity, talking about fighting through it. And Brandon Graham's like, God, didn't you hear? The sky is falling. And there was a little chuckle there. So that was really interesting there. Obviously, Jalen Hurts was featured a lot as the leader, and as he should be, of this Eagles football team. And there are two big things. There's a lot of hate Jalen Hurts' way because of the way he appears on your TV screens on the sidelines. Very stoic, very quiet, very shy, doesn't talk, doesn't do much, isn't fired up, shouting, screaming. And a lot of people hate Jalen Hurts for that. Well, you clearly see during the Hard Knocks portion on the Eagles that Jalen Hurts actually is communicating, is talking, is motivating and hustling with his players. Now, obviously, after the big miss to Devontae Smith, we think he's just sitting there like, No, he went up to Devontae Smith and said, what was going on? I thought you were going to do this. You thought I was going to do that. We got to get on the same page. Keep doing what you're doing. I take responsibility. It was my bad. Blatantly saying that there was a miscommunication, but still taking full responsibility that it's up to him to make sure that they're on the same page. And it wasn't just like a 1-second thing. They went up and down the sideline, high-fiving everybody, saying, I got you. We get this next. Don't worry. Keep doing what you're doing. Just showing what kind of leader he really is. And then on the tush-push fumble, didn't make any excuses. Not like Aaron Rodgers out there throwing shade his teammates' way. Jalen Hurts just basically went out there and said, yo, I effed up. I screwed up. That was 100% on me. I don't know what the F I was doing there. So you got to love the fact that this Hard Knocks, even one episode, showed a different side of Jalen Hurts that we're not used to seeing. And that's fantastic. All right, on Wednesday, the Eagles coordinators, Kevin Patullo, and Vic Fangio spoke. Not much out of Vic Fangio or the Kevin Patullo situation, but I did want to discuss two parts of it. One, there's a lot of rumors that people think he should go up in the booth, and he is not a fan of the booth, says he hasn't been in the booth, for games since 2011. He says there's way too much communication with the players that he likes to do, and that he feels that hampers him being in the booth. And obviously he addressed the egging of his house on Saturday by some unruly people, supposedly Eagles fans, but realistically probably not Eagles fans. And he basically said when it involves his family, it crosses the line. He knows in the position he's in he's going to face criticism. He's going to get hate thrown his way. But when it involves his home and his family, across the line. He loves Philly. He loves where he lives. He loves his neighborhood. He's got great friends and loves his neighbors. It's not going to change this one incident, but don't involve family. And that's the key thing right there. Don't. You know what? You can boo, you can shout, you can cuss. But when you attack athletes, celebrities, coaches, random people on the streets, families, that's when you cross the line, and you shouldn't do that. So I wanted to make sure I point that out. And I love the way Kevin Patullo addressed that situation. Vic Fangio spoke, as always, and gave some honest things, obviously. Marcus Epps will start, he basically said, if he gets cleared and activated. Sorry, Sidney Brown, your time is done. Your time is up. Your time is now. He did talk about Jalen Carter. It does have another shoulder issue, and that is what Jalen Carter was speaking about after the game on Friday, and it is holding him back from being the player. He had a shoulder injury in training camp, missed some time there, so that's a shame to see that Jalen Carter's still battling that. He's just going to have to battle through it, and they're going to have to find a way to give him help in the run game. He also spoke about how Jahad Campbell saw 0 snaps on defense on Friday, and he brought up how his issues against the run and how Nakobe Dean's a better fit in a run-heavy scheme like the Bears were running, but he should have still found a way to get him on the field, and he will continue to find a way to get him on the field because he knows it was wrong that Jahad Campbell didn't get a chance to be on the field. So expect on Monday Night Football against the Chargers to see at least some Jahad Campbell in some formation, in some sets out there. Obviously, the big thing we were waiting all day on Wednesday to hear was whether Darius Slay would have a reunion with the Philadelphia Eagles this week, as he was waived earlier in the week by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Unfortunately, despite there being a lot of interest from the Eagles and Darius Slay and his wife Jen Williams and all the fan base, because we don't want to see whoever's out there cornerback too, unfortunately he had to pass through waivers, and the Buffalo Bills did claim him off of waivers. And this, I didn't confirm this. I saw one report online that the Bills had one spot ahead of the Eagles in the waiver claim wire, and they did take him. It's a shame. Look, Darius Slay has not been great this year, one of the worst cornerbacks in football, but maybe that was part Pittsburgh's system and scheme. Maybe not. I don't know. We know what goes on at cornerback too, especially when Adoree Jackson gets hurt. So, it would have been still a pretty seamless, easy fit, but Darius Slay and that banana pudding making wife of his, Jen, is off to Buffalo, off to the great north, off to Bills Mafia. So there's that. Anyway, one final thing. I read a piece, saw a little interesting piece. A.J. Brown getting in the Christmas spirit through his charity and his organization. Surprised a bunch of kids at a local Acme in Philly, giving out food to needy families, giving out gift cards, and helping spread the holiday spirit. And you love to see that from your Philadelphia Eagles and your athletes taking care of the local community. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow with more Eagles talk. They get their first practice of the week on Thursday. So we will get more information then. That practice report will be interesting with Jalen Carter and some other guys. But for now, guys, everybody have a great day. Like, share, subscribe, follow on all the platforms that you're watching on. Go Birds. Bubbles up.